Now. Hey everybody, welcome to. Sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties. Hey everybody.
1 second. Now.
Hey everybody, we're coming to you live Saturday night special, Forge the Narrative 7th edition. I'm doing co-host duties tonight, and I am sitting next to my man Kenny Boucher, Rob Bear.
What up, Pams?
Yo, guys.
So we are going to get all the 7th edition that we can fill in this next hour and 20 minutes. We're going to give you the newest changes of this edition. And so everybody, if you'll wait with your questions, we're going to go over them. We're going to hit about 25 minutes in, and then we're going to clear cut all the questions that you can come at us. So you guys want to dive right in and start talking about some psychic abilities?
Oh, real quick, where is Palmer?
He is actually in the Bering Sea, Alaskan king crab fishing.
Ooh, I heard that was hazardous.
I got a text from him that said something like that. I thought he was joking.
Yeah, so that's where he is tonight. We'll see if he can make it on some other TV shows and podcasts as well.
Then I guess I'm ready.
All right, so psychic abilities. This is one of the biggest changes. Everybody is drove it home for the last week and a half or so with all the new leaks. We made the 7th edition made massive changes on how you generate psychic dice, this power dice. So what you're going to do is all your master level psychers, add all that up, add a d6. That's how many power dice you have.
What's interesting about that is that it's a community d6. I was actually really interested to see that roll.
It says the active player rolls it, and that is a roll for both players.
Totally fair.
Yep.
The interesting thing though to note is that we were really convinced that there was going to be a limitation to how many magic dice that you get to have. Well, there's currently no limitation.
No limitation.
Well, we thought then maybe there would be a limitation to how many you could throw into what spell.
No limitation.
There is no limitations. Go nuts. This is intense. This is going to define this edition. And actually, Psychic Power is already allowed to define 6th edition. So they're just going even more crazy in 7th.
Yep. So and we talked about it in 6th edition. They brought psychic abilities so strong to the game, but they didn't make them into the game per se by giving them their face. Now there is. But there's also the ability to deny the witch on any psychic ability that's cast.
So it could be unlikely, no doubt. You know, like you need to hit 6s. Obviously, the blessings are the big ones.
But you get the bonuses if
you're targeted, you get all the bonuses, which is that's always been the same.
I'm all about bonuses.
What I'm saying though, the thing that's different is that I can actually deny the witch on a blessing.
Let's use fortune as an example.
Right. Yeah.
We can actually block fortune now.
There's a chance.
There's a chance.
If they roll 7 dice and they get all the 4-ups, and they get 3 4s, for example, if you could just be like, I'm gonna roll all of my dice.
Or I'm not gonna roll any because I don't think I can. I don't think I can deny it.
But you can cut out all the other stuff.
Yep.
It's a good point. That's the other side of it.
But like, not to beat a dead horse with a stick, I think that we all pretty much knew exactly how this was going to happen.
Exactly. And then we will dive into what the abilities are, what those trees look like, and what the perils table looks like a little later on. Make sure that you tune into the podcast and download that tomorrow night. That's Sunday. We'll have all that information for you going into Monday night as well.
No doubt. So what's next, guys?
You want to talk about ruins?
Oh yeah, let's talk about ruins. I was just checking my notes on psychic power.
Okay.
Yeah. So what's the deal? The terrain's completely different, right?
Massive wholesale changes in the terrain department.
So we had last night. Juice and I stayed up till like almost 4 in the morning.
Where was that?
It happened.
You fell asleep at 10 promptly, like you do.
That's fair.
Maybe 10:15.
It was actually midnight, but we got on this whole ruins thing.
Yep, we scoured the whole book trying to find how do ruins interact with barrage, blast templates, assault. Movement was the only place in the very beginning of the rulebook. That was the only place that we could find anything.
Page 20. We have right next to the wobbly model.
Pull it out real quick.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Hit up page 20.
While he's looking that up, what I'll say is that I was like kind of an unofficial expert on how ruins work because I needed to assault people in ruins. There was 6-7 pages on how to interact with ruins in the movement phase and the assault phase. A lot of obscure rules people didn't understand. Well, we have this. This is it, guys.
If you haven't seen it,
these are all the pages. This one and this one.
We've got 35 words,
And
4 big pictures.
And as you can see, yeah, it's, I want to say,
That's pretty standard, right?
I want to say it's about 15 sentences. So basically,
So let's go. Quick question. What's right now work in ruins?
they work really well. In ruins.
So let's talk about
underneath it.
Yeah, let's talk about what's changed. Before, you had to declare what a flamer template, what level you were hitting.
That's not a thing.
That is dead. That is dead to 40.
Flamers, whatever models under their path are hit. So if you have two guys, and then 2 guys, 3 different levels,
6.
all 6 guys, flamer, bow.
All right. So in the case, as everybody knows, I am a huge advocate of the Sky Shield landing pad with my Venom Throat. So we immediately started going back and forth. Hey, how can you assault me on my Sky Shield?
One of my most quoted rules, right, in the Ruins edition of 6th edition, the Ruins page of 6th edition was how we could use beasts to get our bikes up on another level and everything like that.
String out the 6-inch unit coherence.
And the thing was because it said that if models were within 6 inches of models of base-to-base contact on a different level of a ruin, you all swung. That was a big thing. But also
you
wanted
had to
to
get
say,
locked first.
yeah, as long as, but I wanted to say that space is a commodity on different levels of ruins.
Right.
That you might not always be able to fit there, but that's fine. Just get as close as you can. We know where you are. That is not a thing. We have gone back and forth over all the rules.
You have to be able to
brought in the
Stronghold
Assault. We were like, don't worry. They eliminated a lot of the fortifications. They're not in this book anymore. Only fortifications that are is going to be in the Stronghold Assault. That's where we use that abilities at. So we were like, no.
We had to call Rob Bear.
Yeah.
He had to drive down here from Virginia, bring us our books and the Stronghold Assault book.
Yeah.
You had to turn around halfway. It was a thing.
That's why I went to sleep at like 10 at night, guys. Dog me out.
I mean, it happens. It's the commitment level is that deep. So that is a massive change. So if you cannot actually fit going up to assaulting, as per the rules before,
there are compelling precedences in this book to suggest that you cannot be somewhere you can't stay.
Yep.
The end.
So I actually wanted to go in, and it's a great point about wobbly model.
Mm-hmm.
Now, last edition, they brought it up and they gave us a little insert or excerpt, whatever the case may be, on wobbly model.
Now, I like insert. Insert's what I would go with.
Yep. So,
I got it right here too.
Hit us.
Okay,
Rob,
so basically, the clarification for wobbly model is that you have to be able to place it delicately in the first place.
It has to be balanced.
It has to be there, and it has to stay.
So we will go through our example.
But
this is a square base in fantasy. This is where I'm trying to be.
That's my Sky Shield.
It's wobbly. I got it.
It's gonna fall off.
Which is fine. This is wobbly model. I gotta put it here.
That's wobbly model.
This
You can't place it.
you can't place it.
Right.
Like it doesn't stay there.
Yep. So huge clarification. They gave us a picture, a diagram, everything.
That's a big deal for the assaulters out there. I know I got some people in the room. We got a live audience right now. I got some people in this room that are sad by that rule too, man. Like you can't. I mean, you got to hold down for assault. So that's definitely a negative tally for assault.
Should we tell them to look underneath their chairs?
We'll get to that in a second. They do have constellation prizes in the chairs.
All right. I just want to make sure we get to that part.
But the other interesting thing though is like since we're talking about ruins, ruins provide ghetto area terrain. There's no such thing as area terrain. But if you're in a ruin,
there's some interesting points there. There's in, covered, behind, and in.
This game is a
This
game is a lot of sight, but you know what? If you're just in a ruin, you have 4+ cover now.
Right.
Doesn't matter what the obscurement is.
So I guess it's one of those as we say, give
and take it.
So GW says you cannot, or let me rephrase that. They are not saying you cannot, but by not putting rules in place, it is not allowing us to assault things or do things like we're used to. But you want to know what they are saying? They're like, well, we will give you a 4-up coverage save just for touching this area piece of
here's
or this ruin or rubble.
Yeah, well, ruin and rubble.
Yep.
Rubble is also a thing. So rubble also gives you 4+ area terrain. Craters give you 6+ area terrain, but +2 when you go to ground.
Right. It seems like there's.
So you have 3 things you see on every GW board that now are 4+ cover. Like that's something a lot of people online are like, yo, man, ain't no way to get cover. It's like, dog, there's actually way more 4+ cover than you think.
Yeah, and then there's special data sheets for like the moonscape and things like that. in the back of the book and also in Stronghold Assault as well that we just talked about.
Yeah, and let's talk also with a lot of these tournaments and a lot of organizers and things like that. What is the #1 piece of terrain that I see? I swear it's the most of is ruins, cities, buildings, things like that. Exactly. You know, so
trees are dead to me.
Yeah.
Get trees off the table. They are so dead to me. I can't even explain.
I guess you could use the Citadel Wood rule in that. Maybe would that work?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like
we didn't put much work in.
I feel like I'm really excited about ruins in a lot of negative and positive ways.
Well, there's definitely no more area terrain. It's all. There's no more. I'm going to ground.
It's like air quotes area terrain. We do have stuff that we use.
There's going to be quite a few things that we talk about tonight that is kind of using the air
bunnies.
Yep.
I mean, it's we can relate stuff to the last edition for only so long until it actually takes on its own life. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I think right now we're trying to look back and we're trying to draw parallels, but as we progress, it's gonna develop a life of its own. You know?
Yep. So while we're driving that home, let's talk about the new lingo of 40K.
The language of 40K.
The new language of 40K. So we feel that the second, one of the, if not maybe the first, biggest change from 6 to 7 is how the verbiage is in classifications on armies, races, and codexes and everything else.
Yeah.
So everybody, we urge everybody home to start embracing the word faction. A faction is what your army, is what your race,
your codex
is. So when it's referred to in the rule book, this is your faction. Tyranids is my faction, right? Yep. So to dive into that a little bit more, my faction Tyranids. My primary detachment is nothing more than a combined arms detachment that has my warlord in it. That's it. That is the only difference. In the rule book right now, there's 2 detachments: a combined arms
and primary.
And an ally. Yeah. That's it, right? So whenever somebody says when somebody says your primary, that simply just means this is my combined arms attachment with my warlord in it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So those 2 are major changes in the 7th edition, considering it specifically says in here it's the unlimited amount of allied detachments on page 122.
I know he keeps pointing at it and you guys can't see it, but it's in here.
Our holy grail.
So we should talk about what that really means to make an army.
Right.
True. So let's even go a little deeper.
So you got Unbound and Battleforged.
We feel that take that back. Battleforged, NIDS. I am just put a list up. If everybody didn't see it already, I'm Forged Narrative. My allied detachment, we found out,
was illegal.
Was illegal
because of one small line. 4th line down.
Your allied detachment cannot be the same faction as your primary
as your combined arms detachment.
Right.
So that's a big deal because there's a lot of player haters online right now talking about you can't have multiple combined arms detachments. Well, that means no one can ever ally with themselves. That means 80% of the supplements that exist can't be played. I can't play Crimson Slaughter if I want to play Chaos Missions. I can't play Black Legion if I want to play Chaos Missions. I can't ally White Scars with Ultramarines. Can't do it. Clan Raccoon, you can't ally that with Space Marines. None of that stuff. So obviously, quick oversight in case they didn't realize that has to be you can't think that way.
Yeah, we can't just say you can only have one combined arms primary detachment and then multiple allies because under that premise,
And to backtrack, just in case you haven't read that part, you can have unlimited in any combination detachments, meaning a combined arms detachment and an allied detachment. You have 1 billion of this,
as long as you have
2 billion of this. It's good to go.
There it is.
As long as you have points for it. And we that is essentially double force organization, triple force organization, quadruple force organization. It is force organization, double force organization with no restrictions on points. None of this. If you play 2,000 points or more, you can no. It's dog. This is all of it.
Yep.
I'm gonna play this with this with this. Done. And that is officially you saw Paul Murphy tear up the force organization chart
live on Saturday
5 weeks ago. The force organization chart might be dead, and it needs to just be official because people were already doing, like we said, Inquisitors with Night Titans, with this formation,
with this ally.
It was already kind of going that way anyways.
Come on, man. There was We were going that way anyway. It has been made official.
Yeah, but there's a lot of armies that could not have access to all of that stuff,
And now
right?
they do.
Yeah. And now they do.
Unless,
so now
unless you're a
more,
buster and you say no to combined arm formations.
Yeah, so what's the big deal? We feel like Unbound has not found its place yet in the competitive scene.
Unbound seems to be pretty hobby-oriented.
Yeah, why not? For the hobbyists out there, you can, whatever is on your shelf today that you want to play, I'm pretty sure you and I will play
and even,
an Unbound game.
And even Jervis Johnson said that in his article, I think, where he's like, this is for that true hobbyist.
Yeah. So there's no bashing it. It is what it is.
We are all true hobbyists in this room, no doubt. It's just that we are also more competitive and too competitive to be trusted to have an Unbound army as an option to us.
Well, we already kind of came up with some ideas.
So real quick to talk about Unbound for anybody who didn't know, an Unbound army is specifically, there's no limitation. I can run in my Unbound army 2 Wave Serpents, a Hive Tyrant, a Devastator Squad. What other is sitting on my...
Randomly close my eyes, walk into any game store, take anything off of any shelf, put it together. This is my warlord. Everybody who belongs to his faction is with him and his rules.
So that is actually what I feel like Unbound was meant for. That is, in my opinion, perfectly okay. But the competitive players out there...
We will break it.
We will break it.
I cannot be trusted to not buy 42 Farseer.
Yeah, so a legal list of Unbound at 1850 is basically around 16 Farseers. That is the equivalent of 1 billion power dice.
They still score.
They score. They do all this. There's so many different... So we don't even want to go down that rabbit hole. I don't think so.
No,
so
we didn't even think about Warlocks are good now because you don't have to pass leadership.
Dude, it's you can't trust me. Like, I will buy and build 18 Annihilation Marshals. Like, it's just happening.
That can happen as well.
Yeah, that might happen the other way.
But no hobbyist actually has 18 Annihilation Marshals on their shelves just sitting there like, I finally get to play with all. No. Can't trust us, so just don't. I feel like the competitive scene is going to be Battleforged only, but cannot restrict.
We cannot. Please do not be scared. Do not be afraid of trying all these.
We all did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all did it in the last edition.
Right.
You know, like, I urge us to not make the mistakes of the past, not repeat these mistakes we made. In 6th edition, we all got nervous. We all got intimidated. We all decided to come up with a set of fictional rules to sprinkle down on top of actual rules.
And it turns out a year and a half later, we got a new edition. Well, we all basically agreed that this had to get fixed, and we all went about our own separate ways, from tournament organizers to us, to the people's missions, to some of the stuff I came up with for some of my tournaments.
We're all responsible.
We tried to fix it, and at the end of the day, we got to give props to GW for coming out with this new edition. But do we want to see another one in 2 years?
Correct. So we have to. So basically, right now, we don't want to port over like the end of 6th edition mistakes we've made.
Right.
Where we made all these restrictions. We were bullied, and I'm going to say it's serious language. We were bullied by tournament organizers into 1,850 points was the game again. Man, I haven't played 1850 since 4th edition, man. Mm-hmm. I thought, like, 5th edition, 2K became standard. I was so happy.
Yep.
Well, because of this one line where Double Force Orb was 2K associated, they were able to bully us into an 1850 tournament. I don't want that anymore. I want to play 2K, 2250. Yep. Now that there is no actual restriction on
point jumps
on actual, like, Double Force Orb, aka multiple combined arms attachments, I want it back.
So real quick, I don't mean to interrupt. Let's talk about in the combined forces, the combined arms detachment. There's also Lords of War in there. Right?
A lot of changes to D-weapons.
Well, I mean, actually,
wholesale changes to D-weapons.
It's actually a couple of changes that turned into a real big effect on the game. Like, all he said was it no longer ignores cover,
right?
And it no longer ignores vulnerables.
1 through 5.
You roll a 6, it does.
Sure, yeah, it's going to work.
That's a game changer, man. Like, that is so balanced.
So balanced. Like, I think
potentially overbalanced.
Yeah, I think that because of that change, we went through the gauntlet last night of what about this Titan? What about that Titan?
You won't get blown off the board.
No, there is. It will be competitive. Your Revenant Titan will do this and that. You have all these other things that you can do. It's 800 points. So it's 800 points in your army.
So let's also, I forgot, destroy weapons also have another thing. For instant death purposes, they count as strength 10.
Yeah.
So they actually do not inflict instant death.
Correct.
That's a huge thing.
Right.
They do not. For the purposes of factoring in instant death, they are strength 10. That means everyone who's strength 6 and above in the game. Toughness 6 and above in the game.
Right.
Has nothing to fear except the D3 ram effect.
Yep. So, I mean, with that being said, I am fully okay in a normal tournament right now. 2,000 points. Let's have some allied detachments. Let's have all this. Let's bring in Lords of War. Yeah. I'm perfectly okay with it. I think Unbound, would you guys agree, should sit on the back burner for a little bit for the competitive scene. And let's move forward.
Let's definitely put a pin in that one.
Yeah, let's move forward in the edition, and let's bring it in.
I agree. Forge the narrative nation, as it were. Relied on you so heavily in the past, and right now we've already been corrected on mistakes we've made in this new edition.
Thank you.
We need you guys to help. I think drive this home. I feel like we all a bunch of like-minded individuals.
Right.
We love this game. This is a game of toy soldiers that we love. Let's just play it, man.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's just play it.
Yep. I think it's one of the best things that you said earlier was let's not make the same mistakes.
Let's not port these mistakes over. Let's not repeat the mistakes of the past, man.
We gotta keep open-minded. We can't be scared of all this stuff and give all the power to like somebody setting the meta and things like that. Like we just got to be open to everything, really.
Absolutely.
So with all this being said, I cannot wait for SpikeyCon, by the way, because
say now, SpikeyCon. Everything we just said, SpikeyCon.
7th edition.
It has been said. It has been noted.
Yeah. Yes.
Bring the heat.
Bring the heat.
I'm gonna be there. I just posted my cast list. I'm bringing it to SpikeyCon.
It's gonna be straight up Iron Man format. 8 p.m. to 3 or 4 in the morning. It's gonna be full on. We're gonna see a lot. We're gonna see a lot
hang out with Kenny and I all day.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Definitely hit up the Google Plus, the YouTubes here because we're gonna be bringing people in all day.
It's gonna be so fun. Can't wait.
Awesome. Well, guys, let's dive in and clear out some of these questions and messages.
Rob, give us the roll call shout out to everyone involved.
All right, so definitely what's up to BC, Jake Shear, Ender's on here.
Ender, what's up?
This is way too small. I can't read.
We got Nicholas.
We got
Jonathan Johnson.
Chris Garner.
John.
We got Stoner Steve. Steve. We got Nick Rush. Okay, coming in hot. We got Sean Bailey.
Rob Rittenhauer.
Good old Robert, of course.
That's everybody.
Tom.
Yep, Tom and Chad.
We got if we didn't shout you out now, we'll shout you out later.
We will definitely get to you whenever you got your questions. So fire it off.
We're gonna fire off a handful of questions, and we're gonna start toggling it with some questions from our love audience.
Yeah, we already got the. We got live. Yeah, we'll bring them in.
We'll hook up our listeners.
So Ben's already talking about the multiple detachments. So does that mean that you can have multiple detachments of combined arms, i.e., your combined arms could be Ultras and White Scars?
Yes.
Yeah. That's
you can have Ultramarines, White Scars.
Yep. Yeah. Let me preach on that for a second too. The only way that NIDs can ally with themselves is if they combined armament. There's no way that I can take a NID primary detachment and an allied detachment. Can't do it. I got to go primary. Let's think about that. How kind of strange that is. If you tell us as TOs that we cannot have combined arms of our same race, that means that we can't ally with ourselves, but me as a NID player, I can have Eldar jet bikes on my arm.
All you do is,
if
you restrict combined arms, if you say no one gets multiple combined arms, all you're saying is we're all just going to take a Farseer.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yep. So let's move past from that.
Let's
get past that.
We saw how that went.
Yeah. We spent 2 years of that.
Let's hit up our boy Jake Shear, number one. Let's just bang him out.
So how do you guys feel about me using Warhound Titan as a Lord of War in regular turning games?
Feel great about it, man. Do it, Jake. Do it.
I would actually go as far to say is if you're going to do it, maybe not use the D and let's go maybe some of those straight 6 rendings.
I'll tell you what, man. I'll tell you what. When somebody drops some visibility off on a unit, and you can your D templates, I'm immune to them because you can't target me.
Yep.
Yeah, you're not going to be too happy about that.
But if you have that Vulcan Mega Blast,
that's a different story.
Yeah, that's what's up.
So
and it's good against aircraft too.
Let's hit up BC.
All right, so BC kind of has some points here, but we're going to talk about more about.
He starts off hot.
Like that.
Dudes. Let's talk about the coolest things. objectives being placed before deployment.
Well, I think that was
that's how it should be done. I think everyone on Earth can agree with us.
It's good that they actually put it into the
finally. Oh my
setup.
Yeah, because there were still tournaments out there who decided not to use that same format, even though that's blatantly what it should have been.
And I really like. And I know we're not going to touch on exactly how the missions work. We'll be saving that for the webcast on Monday
night.
Well, I just want to touch on how I really like how the Eternal War missions, the 6 that we, like Relic and all those things, those stayed relatively unchanged for the most part. But then the new ones, the Maelstrom of War ones, there's 6 of those too. And not only that, but they use the tactical objectives, and they all have a set deployment zone, which is really cool.
Yeah, we're gonna get it.
It is this way.
We're gonna get it super tight on the objectives on our podcast, and I can't wait. But I'm really interested in Chad's question here. Because as a Chaos player, I'll read this one.
Yeah.
So no longer can I use my Crimson Slaughter with primary case-based Chaos. So how does that work with Battle Bros? Demons plus Crimson Slaughter equals Battle Bros? Look, it's like what we say. It's a little confusing. You basically have to make an army, Crimson Slaughter. I got like a couple of sorcerers and all your guys. That's the Crimson Slaughters. Combined arms detachment. You just simply get another combined arms detachment. Chaos Space the whole thing over again. 2 more HQs. I can do another combined arms detachment. Black Legion. Infinite. Obviously within the realm of the points we play.
Yeah.
But you are fine. Just don't play something that says you can't play the way you want to play. That's what we're gonna do.
So again, to hit back to what we were saying earlier, if people say that you cannot have multiple combined armed forces detachments, that means that you cannot ally Chaos Space Marines and Black Legion together. This period, you can't do it.
You can't do White Scars and Ultramarines like we said either. So
which is basically, it literally says in the Space Marine Codex you can do that. And also there's that little basic and advanced rule thing too, where they refer the basic is the rule book in advanced.
Sorry, not to interrupt you. Our boy Ender is coming in hot. He's coming in hot. So we had this same dispute earlier today. He says either which is only if you're the target of an enemy's second power. We had to have the same discussion with Rob and we just had to the next page.
We all know I'm infallible and I never make mistakes.
So, psychic powers, if you are the target of psychic powers, you get to apply your modifiers.
Yeah, it's a modifier. So, otherwise, it's always on 6.
So, actually, let's go to page 26, as Ender stated out. If anybody else wants to check with us, it is the last paragraph above psychic hoods. The sentence is, none of your units were the targets of any enemy psychic powers. In parentheses, the question in power is a blessing or conjuration.
Right.
You can still attempt a deny the winch. To do so, you follow the same process, but apply no modifiers to your dice. You got to roll 6s.
Everyone has a room priest, but on a 6.
Yep.
Ender. Thank you,
but
no thank you.
Come on, man.
All right, we got Keith here with. How do you guys feel with them spelling out all the rules? That is to help out with the tournament players and from us breaking the game.
I do like that, man.
Yeah.
They gave us the order of operations. Don't be a D-bag set of rules in this book. I'm with that.
So you made the statement last night. We feel like they simplified a lot of stuff, correct?
Yep.
And I feel like they mainstreamed a lot of stuff.
Cool. I want to take a break from our viewers just for a second. I want to take at least one question from our live viewer audience before we come back in hot. This is something we've never done before. So I told them,
at you live.
I'm gonna gaze into our audience, and whoever can lock my gaze first is the one.
Our battle bunker here.
I feel like Brian Delgado is going to be our first ever live.
Everybody, Brian Delgado.
Yeah, come on down.
Come on down. Right.
Come inside. Pull out.
I don't like being this close to Rob, though.
It's okay.
So,
I won't bite, dog.
Ladies and gentlemen,
not hard.
We have our first guest question, or maybe our first comment, comments and questions. What do you got for us, Brian?
Well, you were talking earlier about D-weapons and some of the changes that have been made. And so one of the things that's interesting is that before, D-weapons would kill you even if you had Eternal Warrior.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Now, the most they can do is cause instant death. And Eternal Warrior in the rulebook says ignores instant death, only lose 1 wound. So the nice thing about it is your guys rocking Shields Eternal, or my boy listener, he doesn't die or care all that much about D-weapons. I thought was pretty interesting. I don't know what you guys thought.
They have definitely been them, and that's what we say is don't be afraid of Lord of War, man. I think it's ready. I think we're ready. You know?
Yeah, so I actually wanted to bring up 2 things while Brian is sitting here. We test played when the new Escalation and Stronghold stuff came out. We test played vigorously all of these different games and everything like that, right? So I had my NIDs. I rolled all these puppet masters, which doesn't exist anymore.
Oh yeah.
Right. Right. So as he was talking, I was just like, why we made the decision that Lords of War should not be in the game is because of how strong he was, and because of how strong Puppet Master can interact with the D. Now, all of a sudden, what has GW done for us?
Taking out the interaction of the D and taking out Puppet Master.
Well, I can tell you, you don't want to be on the receiving end of a Revenant Titan, because at Adepticon, the very first round, I went up against that, and I got blown off the table by a Revenant Titan.
But now...
I avenged you, though.
That's all right. I still love stuff. but I got like second overall or whatever.
But now, you know, when you're dropping 1,000 points off on an army, and you go up against an army that's got a strong psychic presence, like we said, if you can't interact in one entire phase of the game, you can't win. If you can't move, if you can't shoot, if you can't assault, if you can't psychic, how can you win? That's my biggest, like, okay, bring it, man. I don't care about your Lord of War. Like, where's all your psychic presence?
Yep. So with that, I feel that everybody at home right now is thinking to themselves, if you have 3 combined arms detachment, and I'm only going to use Necrons as a base because of how strong they were in 5th and 6th edition, how scared people were to see 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Annihilation barges on the table. If you can feasibly right now, under the context of what we're talking about, you can have 9 Annihilation barges, 6 Night Size, and 4 Lords. It's an easy list that can fit, right?
They won't even interact with the.
But how many psychic abilities can they cast?
They can block. They can block maybe
half of one.
Half of one.
Right. So like they need to make sure that they can shoot that many shoot that many Tesla shots, because they are not going to be able to play in a full phase of the game. Just imagine if you couldn't move in the movement phase. How good you would have to be in the assault and shooting phase. So you want to know what? Bring on 9 Annihilation barges.
I'm with that.
Aren't even going to be in range for at least a turn.
I want to thank Brian Delgado for commenting.
Thanks, Brian.
No doubt, man. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
For everybody who's at home watching and that will be at ATC, Brian and I will be holding it down, trying to do what we can do.
No doubt. Let's bang out a couple more of these questions. Look like Marcus Johnson is up in the house. Johnson.
Yep.
Psychic phase question. To deny the witch, do you have to deny all the warp charges rolled? Yes.
Actually, you just have to deny enough. You have to deny enough to make that ability not go off. I take that back.
We might have been fact-checked.
I retract my last statement. You have to deny.
So as a quick example, if I have 6 dice and I roll them, and I roll 3 4s and 3 not 4s, how many deny I need to roll?
I roll
3.
I just want everybody to know I will roll 3 6s.
So 3. So you just need to roll successfully for every one of their successes.
Yep.
And that's something. You know, that's something, man.
So you got to roll a 6 up to their 4 up.
Yeah. Yo, but you want to know what? That is better than anything we've had before.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Something is always better than nothing.
My boy Stoner Steve. Let's see what he's got to say.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that means if you take White Scars and Ultras, they are the same combined arms.
Indeed, they are.
How many points will SpikeyCon be? The FTW website says 1850. Or is it now 2K? We just endorsed. We just endorsed 2K.
Man, clearly the.
Oh man, these people are sharp.
Whoever the event promoter is for FTW Games.
That's Ender. He's just trolling us.
Needs to get on that.
I feel like because it's going to be an overnight tournament and it's going to be starts at 8 p.m. ends at like 3 or 4. It's going to be 1850 just in the name of time.
Yeah,
I think 1850 is probably okay because there's a bar next door.
We're going to get. So I want to, before we keep going, I want to take our next audience comment, or question. I'm looking at the room.
We actually have.
I have it. Johnny Rock. Is that it? Is that the term?
Boom, boom, boom.
He tried to avoid eye contact, but then he made it at the last second.
The man of the hour himself.
Welcome to the show. Good to see you.
Thank you. How's it going? So one of the interesting things that I saw is the new scoring, what all units can score,
and the restrictions on scoring,
and the restrictions. It looks like literally everything scores.
Everything scores, and if you're a troop unit, if I'm not mistaken, please somebody correct me if I am, we reserve the right to backpedal at any point in time. But if you are a troop choice and you have a dedicated troop choice, transport.
It fulfills the same battlefield roles it can score, but troops can score and deny.
Right.
Everything else scores but doesn't deny. So a troop can still sneak in and take your stuff. But that's still pretty clutch, man. Like we talk about the FTN pattern Super Friends list. That now means that my White Scars in their Rhinos and my Grey Hunters in their Rhino score. the Rhino scores, the Stalker score, the Thunderfire Cannon scores, the Biker score,
And
the Wolf Lord scores.
The cover safe thing.
Everything scores. I mean, like
your little wolves.
Yeah.
Next to the wolf lord.
It all scores.
So I just want to drive 1 point home with that being said. Since objectives are going to be everywhere, since it looks like with these objective cards, something is going to happen every turn, your 51-point Eldar jet bikes that I have been known for saying that I particularly don't like too much, you cannot just be off the board and fly in. It is actually, I think, going to change the game up some and keep things interesting.
As long as we can get tactical objectives in play.
That's a good point as well.
But luckily, the people's missions are being amended as we speak.
Yep.
They're being updated. So even if you go to any tournament that we sponsor, you're going to be able to play a far more balanced mission than the current win-loss meta.
I don't know if everybody can see this text, but this is TPM fixing the TPM's missions.
The Paul Murphy fixing the people's missions right now.
While he is crab fishing in the Bering Sea.
Alaskan crab fishing.
I just want everybody to know his commitment is that deep.
And
that's good.
Yeah, for adding that in.
Appreciate it, Johnny Rock.
Oh man, what are you working out? Man, get out of here.
Look at that.
Want to thank our studio audience.
Live studio audience.
Give me an
they are the best.
Show them that you exist.
All right, who's up next, Robbie B?
Oh, we got all sorts of stuff here. Let's see.
I don't know how to say that, but let's not ignore him. Al Curzone.
Al Curzone, sure. I don't want to mispronounce it.
I'm gonna call him Al. Good old Al says, "Do you think the Burning Chariot Flamer will be used more now that it gives Riders Relentless?" I literally have no idea what you're talking about, Al.
Chaos Chariots.
I know that's a Zinch thing.
I'm embarrassed to say I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Do you guys? But okay, the studio audience, who wants to come in here and explain this to my boy Al? Evil Paul Murphy, come here.
Actually, everybody, Paul Murphy. Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Murphy. He is back from the Bering Sea.
It was tough out there. The crabs were too much.
Hey, you got a tan.
Sometimes crabs are too much.
He did get a tan.
Right. So I believe that because the chariot didn't give the rider before Relentless, if it moved, it didn't use the flamer at all.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay.
So now that it gives Relentless, it can actually function if it doesn't stand still.
Didn't they make rules for that? Like the supers.
So the question is
on there too. The big guy. I think they did.
So we'll see more play. Are you guys interested in playing it? I've got a maybe, a strong no.
I do know at least 2 people who are excited.
So we've got 2 people who might want to play, but
all the FTN fans out there, please let us know if you're going to start playing these chariots. Q&A is now.
We do have Paul Murphy here, a.k.a. Evil Paul Murphy. Do you have a comment while you're still here? By anything else?
Actually, yeah. So I wanted to get what you guys thought now that Battle Brothers can get inside of each other's transports.
So close.
I did notice that.
It's a little powerful. It's a little powerful. And
I know some Dark Angels players might be a little excited to have some delivery methods for all those Terminator models they have. Maybe a Storm Raven's that answer. I don't know.
Do you know how many Space Wolf fans are out there thinking to themselves, "Oh my goodness, I get Logan Grimnar himself and Arjak Rockfist himself get to be in separate Storm Ravens with nothing else paired with Mephiston and his own Storm Raven." My list. Whenever I move away
were you
from
in my
scene,
dreams last night? How did you do this?
We got 3 Storm Ravens, 3 BAs going in each one of them.
I want to backtrack just for a second because a good point was thrown at me from Brian Delgado in the studio. He said these Burning Chariots also have a warp charge point they add to them. So that actually gets me. That's back. Good. Now I'm kind of interested again. Warp charge. So in addition to it, they're also adding to this new second phase. So yes, that seems strong.
They did clean up that bit about the conjured units because people were like, "Oh, you're going to bring in the horrors."
It does everything we wanted to do just in the next
turn, which is fair. Oh, speaking of transports, I'm glad you brought that up. You can embark with the relic now into a transport.
I feel like we used to be able to do that.
I didn't think you were.
You just couldn't move the transport.
You could move. Yeah, I think you could do it.
Thanks, Doug. This is literally the 15th time we've had this same conversation this week.
Hey, if I just keep talking, eventually I get something right.
No, I do the same.
More right than wrong, so it's all good. Stoner Steve, you are not the first person that I've heard that this mailing company has missed and not delivered some people's books.
A lot of people's stuff got messed up.
I'm smiling.
Stoner Steve, and of course that's FedEx 8 Stoner Steve's book. Stony Steve, you speak in the third person, and I respect that.
Yep.
I want to keep going on this for a second. I want to thank Tim, a.k.a. Other Paul Murphy, for kicking it with us, and I'm going to try to clear out some more of these questions here.
I'll go some Doritos.
Ooh.
Too soon.
Too soon.
Hey guys, got back from my favorite local gaming store. Played my first game of 7th Ed.
Yeah.
That's Steve Bewley.
Hopefully it went good.
Steve,
please follow up and tell us how it was.
Yeah. Let us know. We need a second comment to let us know how it went.
My boy Justin Troop, one of my favorite people, and I do have favorites as far as really a strong favorite of mine. Page 134, scoring units, tax squad inside of a Fortress Redemption. Fortress, seriously. Did I read that wrong?
That's a really big scoring unit.
I have 4 people rule books. I need to go to page 134 and confirm.
We have Salahuddin in the room right now.
We got a thumbs up. It has to be legit.
We've got Dean Pritchard's hitting us up with that is correct, Justin Troop.
Yes, page 134, the last bullet on the right side. It is a building or fortification that is unclaimed. Claimed buildings count as scoring.
Don't we have one of those around here?
Claiming.
I believe in frame. I'm bringing it up. Yeah, so I'm going to explain this. This is how big my scoring unit is now.
Yep.
Deal with it.
Wait a minute. Hold up. This is the same size as Kenny's shoulders.
Yeah.
Kenny's shoulders are now scoring.
Real quick, I don't mean to plug myself, but Barely Tabletop Painting Quality Service, we will have anybody.
Very tabletop.
So Very Tabletop Quality Painting Service will have a special running next week on Fortress of Redemptions. We will paint them in 9 minutes.
$5.
How long to assemble them?
Yes.
Well, yeah, I mean, they come assembled as far as I know. So. I've never had to build one.
Don't all GW models?
What is your opinion? This is by Ashley Morals. What is your opinion on the Morales? Sorry. What is your opinion on the new second phase, specifically in regards to denying blessings and armies of war? Let's break it down. Numbering 10 or more. Every Chaos Army I make has 10 or more work charge points.
Every NID army that I make right now consists between 8 and 12 before the D6 roll.
Yeah, before the D6 roll.
So this is a comment that we had talked about earlier. You need to make sure when building lists right now in 7th edition that you can interact in all these phases. Yeah. If you can't,
or you got to
come so strong
with
chaos, other stuff.
Well, use chaos. Like we've said this, but chaos not dominated very many things. They don't dominate a lot of shooting. Nope. They don't dominate a lot of moving. They don't dominate a lot of assault. Like they're
still solid.
With Helldrakes, you have a pretty decent shooting phase and a pretty decent movement phase.
They're okay.
But you know what they do have? They have a buttload of level 3 psychers that get to re-roll their psychic checks. And what a psychic check is when I grab my handful of dice, when I throw I can re-roll all of that.
Yep.
That entire roll.
Let me just tell you,
there is
more 4-ups on this table than I can roll.
That is a pretty good roll. And I did perils. I'll take it. 1 perils. Yeah. So, got it. Let's see what I roll on perils. Fine, I take a wound. Oh, my God. I just got it off. But what I'm saying is that, an army that doesn't dominate other phases, but it has the potential to dominate the second phase, you better be busting 10 or more.
Yeah.
So what do I think about 10 or more? Get it.
You need to have, if you can't go over top on a couple of the other phases, you need to have a minimum of 10. To give a shout out, somebody who can't be here tonight, Mike McCaffrey, one of our is actually his list, his Chaos Space Marine list is coming strong with
demons?
A minimum of 30.
Yeah, his demons. He's rocking them demons.
34 power dice, right?
Wow.
So. I don't even know how to follow that.
You got to do it. I mean,
right?
if you can dominate. We are still a competitive podcast. I think you need to dominate this new phase. And what I like about it is it does keep it. Now that immediately makes demons play a different way. All demons have been doing this FMC. Now we have a new way.
Yep.
Chaos Space Marines have been doing pretty decent, but now, man, they got really good too, man. Like now they can interact with the whole new phase of the Codex. That you know what, Tau. Guns, man, but they don't got a lot of power dice.
Bring some allies.
It's under that same premise.
Tau are dead to everyone if you don't let them do combined arms multiple times.
Right.
Like,
Nobody's ever going to take Tau again.
You know
will have 0 psychic. You will have whatever they roll at D6. You will have that many to try to.
And just to speak on top real quick, we're talking about the competitive scene. The Ovesta Star. Am I under the correct assumption that the Ovesta Star is basically gone? Because independent characters cannot join monstrous creatures.
Oh no!
Right? Thank the baby Jesus.
So
wrapped in his golden fleece diapers.
6 pound, 8 ounce baby Jesus. So Ben Hopper right here is coming at us talking about orcs is going to need a better class of weird. Exactly. I completely agree.
I think we all know orcs is getting a new book here soon, especially after the leaks today.
I'm going to bring Brian Delgado back on screen for just a second. He has something to say on that same subject we just touched on of MCs and no independent characters.
Yeah, I was just pointing out the fact that it also includes no monstrous creatures or a unit with them.
Or a unit that has monstrous creatures in it. So use it as another example.
The angles.
Can't use drones or
Tyranid. So a Tyranid Prime cannot join a squadron of 3 Carnifexes.
Well, we didn't see a whole lot of that.
Or a top buff commander can't join a Riptide with 3 drones or 2 drones. Like it can't be done.
Oh no!
Great point. No, great point. That's you're right. It does kill it. Thank you, Brian. And I don't know if anybody else in the studio audience wants to make any comments. I'm gonna look out there.
That's good, right on spot there.
We got our boy Horton coming in. I'm gonna take a quick question, or comment from our boy Horton.
Oh, Horton is definitely representing the local bat cave here.
Yeah. From an undisclosed location.
From the Beats Laboratory.
The Beats Laboratory, a.k.a. Battle Bunker.
What do you got for us, Horton?
Well, I was noticing that in the rulebook now, the roll to see who deploys lets you set up, and then after your opponent sets up, you can decide who goes first or second.
Very powerful.
It's actually a really big change to how the game plays. And what you guys
it's almost a whole who rolls higher wins the game style of play again.
Did you read the paragraph immediately after that too?
Refresh me.
Oh, this is.
I haven't read 99% of this book.
All right, let me.
This is all news to me.
Find it.
Or you bring up a huge point on how that will change the game in the future. Before, there was a lot of rules talking about who got first blood, who got these other things, but now the fact that you, as that dice roller, depending on where the objectives are, you get to control who goes first, second is huge.
After seeing your opponent deploy, is what's so crazy about it.
So you get to roll the dice. What's next?
You roll
I roll higher than you. Now what? What should I do?
If you roll higher than me and you choose to deploy first, then after you deploy and your opponent deploys, you can then decide after that if you want to go first or second.
That is change. Pretty serious.
Yeah. Massive change.
So really winning that roll seems really
cool. But they go and throw this in the mix. You ready?
I'm gonna bring EJ on real quick. He has something to say. I can't understand him. Real quick, tagging out with Horton.
We got.
Yeah, we got.
Space. Oh, actually, we got Roots. Bring them both in. Bring them both.
Come on.
Both fit.
Forgot. We did frame this up.
Yeah.
So the flip side of that, though, is that if you choose to pass first deployment, then your opponent, who is now deploying first, will have the choice whether to play first or second. Whoever deploys first is the one that makes the decision.
So if I give up,
if you give it up and say, I want to see where you deploy, you have now given away the decision on first turn.
Yep.
So they now have the choice after they see your deployment.
There's also another caveat to that, too. It goes on, it says, sometimes it'll be more appropriate to roll off to see who gets to go first. Or say that the player that's set up second gets the first turn. They're ambushing the first player, for example.
So it's designed with narrative vision.
Wow, it's not even italicized.
No.
It's arguably a rule. This is like you know which rule I'm thinking of.
Yep.
The rule of where
you get to roll off
a monstrous creature.
Yeah.
This is 6th edition. A monstrous creature can assault into ruins or be on ruins if we agree
at the beginning of the game that this ruin
is sturdy enough.
Looks sturdy.
This is a rule. So if you
work on a space marine, like how heavy is this space
marine?
So
I don't know if we brought that up before, just so somebody wouldn't come at me in a tournament like that. But I've always had ammunition in my back pocket. So this is not the first time GW has done something like this. In the 6th edition rulebook, it said monstrous creatures cannot be. They can only be on the second level of a ruin if you and your opponent agree
that it's suitably.
That is suitably.
So let me tell you what: 5 Devon Space Marines crammed into exactly 3 square inches of space what are like 3,000 pounds each?
Yep, plus guns, plus shooting solid projectile.
I'll be like, word, if I can't be up here, none of your guys can be up here.
Yep.
Like, but no, it's an interesting because you're right. It's not even italicized. It's not even in quotation marks.
By the way,
this is
thank you, TOs, for letting us know how the first term will go.
Yes.
That's a really strong.
Please
thank
spell
you for
that
those
out.
points.
Please, somebody, somewhere.
I want to thank Horton and EJ for those points.
Yep, for everybody who didn't know, EJ Walsh. To my right.
Okay, Horton here.
Thanks, Pimps. We're going to go back
Thanks,
to taking the Q&A. So somebody brought up Lookout Sir just a second ago.
Yeah.
So Lookout Sir is exactly as powerful as it was before.
Still on a 2-0.
Still, it's a 4-up for all characters, a 2-up for independent
2-0
characters.
ICs.
But I feel like something else was being thrown at me. Is there already an FAQ?
No, there is no FAQ out.
I thought it was 2-0.
That's a good point.
Oh.
That is
still
not
waiting.
true. Lookout Sir is a 4-up, and it's a 2-0 for independent characters. If you go to the independent character,
under the IC section in the special rules.
Yeah.
As you guys are looking, I just wanted to state out, as EJ just let us know too, there's still yet to be any FAQs. That's huge. Normally, we've got a lot of codexes in flux. We've got a lot of questions that need to be answered. No FAQs. I feel like the discrepancy was finalized, and it is a 2-up
I'm pretty sure
and a
it's
4-up.
So, independent characters it's exactly as broken as it was before. Lookout Sir Shenanigans. I feel like there's one of the questions we're having right now is how do independent characters join units and reserves?
You literally assign them to one of the units, and then
Does that add to your number?
there is no more number anymore. You just have to have models. I believe you just have to have models on the board.
There
at the
is
end of your
no
turn.
more percentage of how many units you have on the table versus how many you have in reserve.
Is there? Can you be tabled now?
Yes, you still can be tabled.
But that rule still applies. So you have to be. So you can still a certain degree of balls has to be in play.
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm. Word. That's cool. Let's take a few of these questions. We got our boy Justin Troop, my strong favorite. With changes to Iron Arm, Warp Speed, and I'm sure a few others that give flat rates and bonuses, do you think they're a little OP, or the way generated power is now balanced? I think it's balanced.
I think it's balanced.
I think you have a chance to deny.
Don't
take an army that doesn't have a way.
If you roll
to
six
generate
power dice at some of these things, it's still in the 50-50 that's gonna go off.
There's gonna be a very a bluff-like tactical mechanic to it too. Some stuff you're just gonna have to let go.
There's not the bluff. The bluff is all in the hands of the denier.
Right.
I have to show my cards. My cards are on the table with how many dice I roll.
Yeah.
So you have
to keep in the back of your head. Hey, Kenny's gonna hit me with this other thing if he gets this off.
I'm gonna use it.
Am I gonna let this go and let this one go just so I have extra firepower here for when he tries to get me with something else?
So to bring it back a little bit to Steve's point here.
Stoner Steve said when in his game of 7th edition.
Steve, we'll go up. Steve Brewery.
Steve Bewley looks like.
He was letting us know about his 7th edition game. He wanted to make sure that prescience did not go off, so he threw all 16 of his dice to stop prescience. I like where your head's at right now.
Very nice.
Very, very nice. Who's up next?
We have stuff over.
Man, we have 1 billion questions.
Let's stop right there. Who's that?
That's Stoner Steve.
Stoner Steve, what you got?
My bird, Demon, Lord of War, shoots your spells back on deny.
Okay, interesting, Stoner Steve. Thank you for that clarity. We got our boy Al again.
We'll do it this way. Boom.
Our boy Al's back in the house. Says, does a Psyker fire multiple Witchfire, fire all at once or in order, aka can they destroy a tank and then shoot the units in
Witchfire you do during the psychic phase, and then you can actually, after you blow it up, you can shoot with your normal shooting attacks if you have it.
Correct. So
during the shooting
you
phase.
have to make all your targets, but you can't shoot multiple targets. So no, but Witchfire did get strong.
Yeah, there's no restraint to how many Witchfires you can do.
Right, correct.
The shooting.
Everyone's arm on. I heard that today from somebody in the room.
You don't even have to level up for a whole episode.
Rob just scrolled through. I was trying to see something about Mephistown. We will get back to you who put that up.
Let's bang it out. Okay, we got Steve Bewley again. I summon like an extra 200 points with the units. Invisibility is strong as advertised. Yes, amazing. We got Charles Dickerson. Sorry, Freudian slip. Are you excited about the potential to reward force organization for specific rules/benefits, like in the status slate formations, even if the vanilla examples in the books are a bit lackluster? I'm excited about everything. Your question is possibly one of the things I'm least excited about. Only because, I'm still hung up on psychic patterns. You know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't even thought about what you're saying yet.
I mean, the data slates are cool because they give you extra bonuses, extra things like that. Even some of the terrain data slates in the back of the book are pretty cool. So if they come out with a new piece of terrain, you're going to get a new data slate. That's how it works. So that's pretty neat.
What about codex powers? Our boy Chris Morgan.
Yeah, Christopher Morgan is talking about what about codex powers that are from the older editions? BA codex, for example, since psychic stuff is all in the shooting phase. BA powers would be done in the specific phase. I would have to disagree that they actually speak about that. There is a full psychic phase now. Everybody's psychic abilities will be done in a different phase.
We're waiting for an FAQ because actually that was in the FAQ. Once the FAQs go live,
we'll be able to.
The question will be answered. Tim K. You can only hit an invisibility unit with a snapfire and a 6 in the assault. Since the 2+ reroll saves are still in the game, you could have a unit that hit on 6s as Juice and I talked about this earlier. Here's the thing: 2-up saves of the reroll are still a thing.
Yep. Yeah.
But everyone has access to something exactly that powerful.
Yep. So if you sync your dice, as Tim Kane is saying, he actually went in and did the math. That
you have a 1 in 1,296 chance to do a wound.
Okay, so if you have a 2 of rerollable and invisibility, I feel like with a 2 of rerollable, you're kind of being a little redundant to have invisibility on it. But if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But what Kenny was pointing to is he has a unit of spawns. His unit of spawns that is invisible with endurance is about as unkillable as a 2 of rerollable.
As the most 2+ rerollable unit in the game. So, and also the snapfire. That's something we talked about earlier. Invisibility means you can only snap.
Yep.
So
you are immune to templates, man. Like, it is.
So what GW again has done for a lot of people who say that they don't know what they're doing, they don't know this and that, they have given this ability for unfairness, unbrokenness, and things like that. A lot of negative things that we said back in 6th edition. They have spread this love out to everybody.
I would rather play a close game. I would rather see a close ball. I would rather see a close hockey game that goes triple, into a shootout.
Exactly.
And at the very least, I want to see models being removed.
Yeah.
The point of 40K for me is to engage.
Yep.
I don't want to play. Let's not be near each other and let's wait to the last turn to get objectives. I like to engage my opponent. And
if you've got a unit if I have 2 of rerollable and you have an invisible unit,
we're going to engage, dog.
It is going to be a showdown.
To deny their first power. Let's get it on. Who are we looking at here? We're looking at Ed Black or? Oh, Christopher Morgan again, our boy.
There it is.
Best news at 7th edition. Mephiston is back to 3 powers. LOL, die, stupid 6th edition. FAQ.
So I just want to bring in a guest host real quick with the
bring in Paul Murphy's back in. Evil Paul Murphy.
Evil Paul Murphy.
All right.
EPM.
All right. So I remember Kenny was saying just a little bit ago about psychic witchfires. You still have to declare your target. Now on page 27, it actually says if a psyker has multiple witchfires, he can fire those witchfires at different targets, and then in the subsequent shooting phase, can shoot at another target with his unit.
Yes.
Let it be said. Let it be known. He can also run.
Wow.
So yes, everyone is even better than Armand. Mm-hmm. So Armand, I guess right after smoking a sack of meth and doing steroids, thank you, Evil Paul Murphy, for that clarification.
EPM, you're the best.
We got our boy Steve Yulee again. Played demons, beat Space Marines, had 10+ charges every turn, owned a psychic phase. 8 Wars reroll was even more clutch.
Without a doubt.
I perilled my first 2 casts. One result was a 1. I rerolled it. I rerolled the and that didn't die.
Yeah, I would recommend that.
Oh man, my boy EJ in this room right now. I bet he's like, yeah, obviously. He's one of my favorite people who plays the Fly Monsters creatures around here, and he has changed my mind with like Fate Weaver tactics, and I'm super happy to hear that, Steve. Oh, we got good old Jason Beasley hitting us up with, hi guys, from
shout out from
Brisbane, Australia.
Australia. Thanks for tuning in, man.
Oh, it's the afternoon. No, is it afternoon there?
I'm gonna go with this.
Yeah,
it's
afternoon there.
Do you find that now Eldar players will have to be more strategic with psychic powers, and instead of trying to get more lucky spread across like they used to, they will have to get more strategic. Like absolutely, man. If you only get one fortune, you best believe all 15 and whatever my dice.
I will push everything. I will push everything.
Make it rain of dice all over the table, man. Like I'm doing, man. You just failed that fortune one time.
Eldar allies is a good point too, because I think a lot of their vehicles just got good again a little bit. They are open top, so they're gonna get.
I'm gonna hit that hell drag. I'm gonna flame all the dudes inside your open top flamer. I'll tell you what, man.
That's a good point. Flamers down.
Guys, it is 11 o'clock. You want to hit up about 4 or 5 quick rapid fire questions?
Depends on how much time we have. Do we know how much time we have left?
10, 15 minutes.
We have 10 minutes. Rapid fire questions.
Ed Black, got it.
Okay.
I didn't get a chance to play today because I was working, but did it get close to observe a game for a little bit? There was like 7 instances of perils of the war. That is very true.
Predictable. I like, yes.
And it depends on, we haven't talked about it yet, but it depends on what psychic chart that you're going to roll on, of where you perils on 6s or you perils on any doubles, depending on what race you are. We're going to dive into that all later.
So, look, is that William Bryce we're looking at right here? What do you think about Priest now? That they have clarified that models take it on their leadership, and that units take it on the high. Oh, what does he say? I didn't check this clarification out.
So you're saying characteristic checks are
they changed it from not the largest or not the majority, because they used to be the majority.
No,
I feel like our people right now.
So priests are so unfortunately priests are taking it on their own leadership.
We have concern that we have people saying that is correct.
We will have it fact checked for you. It will be mentioned. We got our boy Kent Jackway, the name.
Couldn't find it in the book, but can you really keep almost all of your army in reserves as long as there's something on the board at the end of turn 1? Yeah.
Yes.
As far as we could see, yeah.
Yep.
Christopher Morgan, the Blood Angel, is back.
Sorry, I meant psychic phase, not the shooting phase. But since the psychic phase is after the movement phase, Wings of Sanguinus is effectively mute. Yay!
Already moved.
Yeah, that's have nothing. I take that back. It will not be mute because of the fact that the ability will roll over for the turn. So you cast it now, and if you cast on turn 1, you'll be able to move 12 inches with your wings on turn 2.
So Troy has a good point here. How do Space Wolves stop psychic powers? It's still a 4+. Until the FAQ, the Room Priest is the most dominating psychic denial presence on the battlefield. He can stop all 1 billion of these 4-up saves with his 1/4.
Unless you are my man
Nigel Stormcaller.
Nigel himself. Then he does it on a 3.
Until we get an FAQ, Room Priests are just the worst. We got Tim K coming up next, I think.
Yep.
Oh no, sorry, William Bryce again. Now that you only have warp charges in the psychic phase, do you think Mind Strike missiles will be the answer to psychics?
I think Mind Strike missiles, and I will go as far to say is Grey Knights have gotten one of the biggest boosts that we can come up with the 7th edition right now. Grey Knights got so much.
I got something right now for that. Mind Strike missiles are dead. Because invisibility means you can't target me with a blast weapon.
Good point. So I feel like we have an answer for the question that we were just referring to.
Priests have to roll on Leadership 7.
Oh, wow.
So
that's good to know.
Has been confirmed that characteristics model is called into. He can only use his own leadership.
It says model. The model has
okay.
There we go.
Confirmed.
Right up here.
Chris is coming at us with the Dark Millennium book made me die inside just a tad. Seriously, what's up with the lack of next level painting in there?
Chris Gardner, I am very glad to hear that. I was actually busy painting some models up here in our beat laboratory. I wasn't able to get to their models. I mean, I have them in queue, obviously, but
sorry,
thanks for the shout out.
Chris, I apologize that since his queue was full, my queue was not full.
Barely
tabletop quality is who had to take control of that situation. Sorry.
Keith says, after seeing the new missions, do you feel that we could get both of them in the tournament?
Yes, I could see where tournaments have an Unbound tournament and a
or missions. I mean, like, you been talking about like maybe the tactical missions.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. The people's missions are essentially that right now.
Yep.
So.
This is a good question. Here from Jake Shear.
How do I take Night Titans? Does anyone here have the answer to that? How do you take Night Titans?
They have their own faction.
They have their
own faction.
We actually have.
Brian Delgado in here again. I want to do a quick studio question here.
So, and this is both a question and a statement. I believe when looking at the factions and the way that detachments function, it states that you can use detachments based off of your faction codex.
Right.
So some of them are different, Knights being a perfect example. So what I wanted to point out is it looks to me like you don't have to take a combined. You just have to take a combination of detachments. Each detachment has its own limitation, right? So you could actually run Knights with Inquisition, neither of whom can even function under the Combined Arms detachment, right? Like neither one works.
So we had a very similar. We came to that same.
Has to be your primary.
We came to that same conclusion too.
Primary is just your warlord. Right?
Yeah, it's basically.
Is that true?
All models, I believe, in your primary and your mixed arms attachment, your combined arms attachment, come from the same faction.
Right.
Yeah. So
so as it sets right now, in my opinion, to go with his point, as it sets, you have two kind of factions.
There's only two types. There's no detachments. There's only two types of detachments.
There's a combined and an ally. The only discrepancy that will mess with either one of those is your primary. That's the only third word that could ever be involved with them as of right now. Right. And your primary is just simply a combined armed
with your warlord.
With a warlord.
Right.
So you have to meet those. Now I can see where Brian's talking about because we
were on that until 3 in the morning.
Yeah, don't really have true choices. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, they don't. Yeah.
So I don't know how that would play out. I can't wait.
But they have in their own codex, though. Their own faction book. They do have provisions of what roles.
That's what I was kind of getting at.
They do have provisions for what roles are filled. So
if you wanted to run them as main.
So I imagine it's still.
You said you have to take 3 to make them their own.
So interesting. We will have more on that.
That might be an FAQ thing.
We'll have more on that to come.
Yep. Hey, thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
So Ben is coming in hot talking about, do the new vehicle damage chart rules in the IE 7+ part apply to super heavies for the
absolutely
explosions?
Yep.
So I feel like that's
explosions don't with the invisible behemoth rule, they don't affect super heavies like that. Like if you explode, it's just a D3 thing. It's not. It's not the full on like.
We are getting close to that time. I'm rolling through and I'm finding maybe one awesome comment to talk about here at the end. We're gonna end this
with my man, everybody's favorite man, Salahuddin.
We're gonna take this right here.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Dean. Dean is one of our local guys. We play with him all the time. What's up, man?
So. The trick with ranges on weapons, you got that las cannon sitting in a tactical squad, or the ever-present missile launchers on grav centurions, making those grav guns go out 24.
Yep.
That's not a thing anymore.
Good.
Like you guys have a shooting sequence now in here, where
so each weapon does. So if you have a missile launcher, he can kill one guy.
Oh right, because you do individually.
You resolve the entire weapon type.
So you're basically your wound pool is from
that weapon
types.
So it would be a 48 for las cannon. And then 24 for your bolters.
Okay, we have a counterpoint. I'm bringing EJ in here on the other side of the couch.
He agrees.
He agrees.
Never mind. It was not a counterpoint.
Yes.
He was giving me sign language. I don't speak sign language. Got it. That's all.
He speaks that sign language.
I just got hit with some sign language. I understand.
I didn't even see it, but I know what it was.
I want to say thanks to you, Dean. I want to say thanks to the studio audience.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let Juice.
Everybody, look under your chairs. 7th edition. You all get a 7th edition.
I'm gonna let Juice shout out everybody on this chart right here. I'm gonna let him do his
all right, rapid fire. Here we go for everybody. I apologize if you missed you. Jake, Robert. I'm gonna just skip last names real quick. Chad, Chris, Tom, Shane, BC, Will Troop, Jonathan, Steve, Ben, Nick. Everybody, we can't do any of this without you guys. Thank you very much, Tim, Tom, everybody else. Even if we didn't.
We can be heard. We might have just lost the video feed just temporarily. Sorry about that.
Well, as we're just kind of winding down, I just want to say, if you haven't already, check us out on Facebook. Facebook.com/Forge the Narrative.
No doubt. Definitely check us out on YouTube. That's /Forge the Narrative. Please subscribe.
Please. And then also on iTunes. It would be super great if you liked us on iTunes and you gave us. You can't see my fingers holding up all 5. That means 5 stars. We've also done this math for everybody at home. That equals 2.8 cats. If you give us 2.8 cats,
I saved
5 stars. It's the exact same. Thank you, Rob Berry. You are the tech priest we all know to you to be. So
don't build me up.
Anybody else? You got anything to add?
That's it for this one.
7th edition.
I want to go out saying that I am actually very excited to play 7th edition, and I am stoked beyond all of this.
Yep. Anybody, I would like to put it out there. If you are not happy about 7th edition, put it on Facebook, send us a message, and we will talk you into why 7th edition is good.
But give us some reasons. Just don't be like, I think it sucks.
No, you can troll us. I like trolls.
Oh, that's fine.
We do control us just as well. Everybody, thank you.
Night, guys.
Thank you for tuning in. Have a good night.